Today we'll do another quick campaign ad reaction video. This time it's going to be for the race for New York City Mayor. Been kind of busy, but I wanted to squeeze this one in. And because there's three major candidates in this race, we're going to do two for each: Mamdani, Cuomo, and Sliwa. But I gotta say, it was difficult to find some 30-second ads from Mamdani. I try to use YouTube, that makes it way easier for me, but he just didn't really have much on there. There was only one. I think he's got a lot more on other social media, but it's just too much of a hassle for me. So I did pull up one here from Facebook. Let's start with him and let's get into it. And for some reason, whenever I raise the volume and hit play, the volume goes back down to 0. To me, that's broken and totally insane, but let's try to do it again anyway.
You deserve better. You deserve to be able to raise your family here, to be safe, to travel where you need to, free of costs and worry. You deserve someone who works as hard as you do, who thinks about you every second of the day. That's the kind of mayor I promise to be. New York, will you accept this rose?
Paid for by Zohran for NYC.
Okay, I haven't watched a ton of the Mamdani ads because, as I said, they're just not really on their official YouTube channels. But this is obviously a Bachelor parody, and I don't really watch the show, so I can't tell how effective this type of ad is. Bringing pop culture into your ads a little bit, probably not a bad idea. And this ad might not be for me, but I do think it comes across as over the top. But again, that might just be the whole style of The Bachelor, and for that purpose, it might make total sense. The issues that he hits on at the beginning, that's going to be the best part. He says to travel where you need to, free of cost and worry. I'm not exactly sure what that means, unless it's only referring to the free buses proposal. So I'm kind of not really sure what to make of this ad. That's going to be for everybody below in the comments. Now let's go to the first ad here from Andrew Cuomo.
I'm Andrew Cuomo, and I could pretend to do a lot of jobs. But I know what I know, and I know what I don't know. And I do know how to make government work. I'll hire 5,000 new cops to partner with local community groups and keep our families safe. And we'll get the homeless off the streets and into the help they desperately need. There are a lot of jobs I can't do, but I'm ready to be your mayor on day one.
Okay, this one at least gets a little bit more creative from Cuomo. He shows how he's unsuited for some other typical jobs. Looks like a stockbroker, train conductor, etc. It's probably all AI, but then after that he talks about hiring more cops, getting the homeless off the streets. Those issues seem like they're going to be important for the city, but Cuomo on camera here looks a little bit stiffer than I would expect. So he's touting his experience here and he's ready on day one to be mayor. I think it might have been fun to see some of those other jobs that he was not suited for. But ultimately, this ad seems fine to me. A little bit different approach here, but I think it works well enough. Now let's take a look at Curtis Sliwa, the Republican in this race.
Think about what we've lived through here in New York. Our schools failing, riots, defunding the police, crime, and corruption. We shouldn't have to live like this. Career politicians, they sold us out. And now a socialist says he has the answers? We deserve better. I'm Curtis Sliwa. I'm asking for your vote for mayor. Together, we'll build back a safer, more affordable New York.
Okay, so far, I think this is probably the best ad of the three. And this is from Sliwa, the Republican. He's not going to win this race. He's not going to have a ton of funding, but he does work well with what he's got here. He's on camera. He doesn't even have his trademark beret. I think the imagery and the graphics work pretty well. The music also complements the visuals. He hits up a lot of things people are going to hate. He has optimism for the future. And he talks about how he's going to make everything safer and more affordable, etc. That part is generic. That's what everybody says. But all things considered, this is going to be a decent ad, especially considering where it's coming from. Now let's go to the second ad from Mamdani, and this is really the only recent 30-second ad I could find on his YouTube channel.
Andrew, New Yorkers want a mayor who will make groceries and childcare affordable, not sell us out to their billionaire donors.
A mayor that'll make buses fast and free, not defund the MTA.
Andrew, you're scheming with Donald Trump.
We're voting you off the island
And back to the suburbs.
We're with Assemblyman Zohran Mamdani. He'll stand up to Trump, freeze the rent, and deliver universal childcare.
We're gonna build a city where no one has to struggle to survive.
Paid for by Zohran for NYC.
Okay, I don't know if he has a ton of ads that are parodies of shows, but so far we're 2 for 2. This one is Survivor, and they're voting Cuomo off the island. I like the setting. I think they got that right. They seemingly have some typical New Yorkers here voting off Cuomo. They talk about childcare and affordability here. That's fine. I think this ad is better than the first one. But then Mamdani here at the end in the suit, that's the part that I think works the least. I think he should have been more dressed up like Jeff Probst hosting the show. I get it, he's a politician, but he seems to stand out way too much from the voters that they just showed. But like the Cuomo ad, there is a creative element here. It does take a different approach. Not bad here. We're going to move on to the next one from Cuomo.
Cuomo and Mamdani, two candidates with two very different plans for New York City. Andrew Cuomo would build 500,000 affordable homes, cut taxes for working families, and raise the minimum wage to $20 an hour. Zohran Mamdani would freeze the rent for only 25% of New Yorkers while raising it for everyone else. Sound familiar? It is. De Blasio tried and failed before. The choice is simple. Mamdani and de Blasio freeze the rent for a few. Cuomo, lower the rent for all.
All right, this one is more of a standard political ad. It touts Cuomo, it attacks Mamdani. So apparently Cuomo is going to do a ton of building. He's also going to raise the minimum wage to $20. And there's some criticism of Mamdani's rent freeze here. I can't say what's actually true or what would actually happen here because I don't live here. I'm not going to look that closely into it. But as far as the effectiveness here, I think it's okay, I guess. Now, I know Cuomo used to be governor. He has a ton of baggage. So it's possible this ad does ring hollow. But he does try to connect Mamdani to former Mayor Bill de Blasio. At this point, it seems like pretty much any mayor is going to have bad approval ratings in this city. So on these more local type of ads, the effectiveness is going to be up for debate. But we're going to move on to the last ad from Curtis Sliwa.
You can hear a woman screaming. Rapes in broad daylight. Attacks on the subway. Why? Cuomo.
We're going to end the cash bail system once and for all.
Worse, Zohran Mamdani wants to go even further. With them in charge, you are not safe.
We deserve better. I'm Curtis Sliwa. I'm asking for your vote for mayor. Together, we'll build back a safer, more affordable New York.
All right, the second half of this is the end of the one we just took a look at a minute ago, so that gets a little repetitive. The first half is all about crime, and crime is one of those issues that Republicans do a lot better on than the Dems. That's just the way it is. Both parties tend to have at least a couple of those issues on their side. So I don't know if Sliwa thinks he could actually win this race, or if he knows he's doomed and he's just doing the best he can. It'd be kind of nuts if he thought he was actually going to win. But this is a major blue city. This is not friendly turf for the Republicans. However, with that said, there are still going to be some issues that Sliwa can use to his strength, and this is going to be one of them. He shows Cuomo talking about wanting to end cash bail and how Mamdani is going to go even further. I can't say this is going to be a bad or an ineffective ad. If this were a neck-and-neck race, I think that would have much more impact. So overall, though, I don't think Sliwa had bad ads, considering he's not going to win this thing. There were not a ton of ads for Cuomo. What I found, they were okay, and Mamdani I found even less, at least on YouTube. So this is a local race. The dynamics are different. So it's tough to judge these ads, especially considering I didn't see that many. But anyway, I wanted to get this one in. That's going to be a quick campaign ad reaction for this New York City mayor's race. So let me know in the comments. What do you think about any of these ads? Are there a ton more out there from Mamdani that I just never saw because they're not on YouTube? What about Cuomo? Even if you don't like him, how effective do you think his ads were? And what about Sliwa? Given he's the Republican in this race, how effective do you think his ads were? Let me know down below on your way out. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Join if you'd like to support the channel. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.